Hello everyone, this is Paul Smyers from VirginiaRealEstate.com and this YouTube channel. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about what is a buyer agent. A lot of people do not understand what a buyer agent is, and they don't really understand what an agent really is in the first place, and especially in real estate, what we do. Normally, by default in this industry, if someone asks me to help them sell their house, I am obligated to them by the default to work on their behalf as best as possible to get the highest price and to not disclose anything that might damage their negotiating position, and also I must disclose and tell people who are buying certain things about a property by law. So that's the typical agent in real estate. And a lot of people who buy a home don't know that they can also have a client relationship with somebody who's going to be like a scout for them, and in all the negotiations they're going to be looking out for the buyer's interest and not the seller's interest. It's called a buyer agent, and there's a simple document that all agents have in this industry that we can have you sign and say, look, you're going to be working on my behalf. And then when I list a property, when I go try to show you some properties, it's my obligation to tell people I'm a buyer's agent. See, I'm going to be working on behalf of the buyer. So when it comes to negotiate anything in the deal, the price or whatever, I'm going to be looking out for your interest as a buyer instead of the seller's interest. So what we do, I do some scouting for people, and one of the things that happens these days, of course, is people look from out of state and they're trying to buy a property far away. And it's really, I drive around all over the place and I see lots of properties, so it's impossible to see all that online. So, one thing that you can do if you're moving from out of state, for example, you can hire somebody like me, for example, who is a buyer agent. And we just a simple contract say, look, I'm going to go scout for you. If you see something online that you like and say, hey, can you go check that out for me? And the pictures online may be something, and then I'll go see there's a big junkyard right next to that property, you see. So there are situations where a buyer agent can help you. And what you do when a seller sells a home, they have to pay some kind of it's a contract fee. People call it commission. It's just a way of doing business. You have to hire somebody to paint your walls and do things. You hire somebody to help you get the best deal and look out for your interests in a real estate transaction. So when I go scouting for somebody from out of town, I have handled some transactions that I never even saw the buyer, or I saw one just once. So there's a lot we can do now online in the way of communication to facilitate a transaction. But if you're looking at this video and you're from out of town and you're saying, hey, I got to move to Virginia, it's a great place, I love it here, and I've lived a lot of nice places, but Virginia is wonderful. So if you want to talk to me about getting someone who can scout. Like I drive around all over the place. Okay, I'd love to drive around, and I go some back roads and I'll never go on again. Virginia has a lot of very beautiful rural territory. There's loads and loads of streams. There's farmland. There's forests. So there's all kinds of views. So it's not like a flat area where there's no views. In Virginia, there's many places where you can have fantastic views and simple, tranquil living, rural living. So look for some of my other videos. I'm going to be talking about rural living and what's it like to live in the country and the things you got to think about when you buy land and things like that. So I want to make these videos short. I appreciate if people would like and share. I have a business here in Southwest Virginia. I live in the Shenandoah Valley, so I'm familiar with basically, if you know Virginia, I look at a map, say from Richmond or from Charlottesville, say toward the west, all the way up the western part of Virginia. Route 81 goes all the way down the west side of Virginia, and it goes through a really beautiful territory. The Blue Ridge Parkway is in there, and a lot of trails and a lot of kayaking and fishing and so on. So it's a lovely area. And if there's anything I can do to help you find something in this area or scout something out, please let me know. The email is here and my phone number is on the website. So again, thanks for listening and appreciate it. I'll see you in one of the other videos.